Hi, my name is Donovan and I'm a transpersonal hypnotherapist. So being a hypnotherapist, you can imagine there's a lot of misconceptions and misunderstandings about what hypnosis is. So I thought it would be important to help clarify some of these issues. So hypnosis seems like this foreign concept with a lot of mysticism behind it. And while that can be true, for the most part, hypnosis is really about a focused state of attention. Once the mind tends to focus on something like that, it can be more open to suggestion. And this is where the formal setting of hypnotherapy comes about. And so we can often experience hypnotic phenomena in our daily lives. When we read a good book, when we watch a good movie, when we listen to good music, when we daydream, when we autopilot our way to work and home, that is hypnotic phenomena. You tend to find in those places that you are in two places at the same time, essentially. The same thing happens with hypnotherapy. My client will be sitting on the couch and I'll be sitting next to them, and they will be experiencing a journey, all the while knowing that they are with me in my office. It's almost as though they are watching a movie and I'm sitting with them, asking them what is happening at each stage of the movie. So the interesting thing about hypnosis is that for some reason it can tap into a lot of unconscious behavior, and this is where the therapeutic part of it comes along. The interesting thing about hypnosis is that it can tap into the unconscious behavior patterns that tend to dictate a lot of our lives. You can use the typical metaphor of the iceberg. The conscious part of us is that top of the iceberg, and then the unconscious part of us is that very big part underneath. And that is essentially the controlling, driving force behind everything that we do, think, and act. So what hypnosis aims to do is to actually gain access to that lower part, that much bigger part of us. Once we can access the subconscious programming to our behaviors, that's when we can start making behavioral changes. And this is where the magic of hypnosis starts to come through. There are many misconceptions, like I mentioned in the beginning, about hypnosis. People are often wary about it because they watch it on a stage show and then they see themselves doing that and they think never in a million years. However, in a therapeutic sense, like I said, this is teamwork. So I'm helping my clients to actually discover more about themselves and to create the changes necessary that they're looking for. So a person will never get stuck in hypnosis. It's really, once you actually really know about hypnosis, it's a funny thing to think that you could be stuck in it. Because essentially, the person always knows where they are at all times. It's never my intention to try and distort that. They must feel safe with me in my environment. If you want to come out of hypnosis, you literally open your eyes and you back out like that. Hypnosis is also not truth serum. You will always be managing what is going on inside your own mind and what you choose to express to the hypnotherapist. I find hypnosis absolutely fascinating because it tends to look at so much more that is going on below the surface. We tend to discount what is actually driving us forward because we get so used to our behavior that we don't realize how much is actually happening in the background. Hypnosis can be a highly effective treatment for things like trauma, stress, anxiety, phobias. Sometimes it's even been known to cure some of these ailments. The main aim of hypnosis and hypnotherapy is to create effective behavioral changes. The person may not understand how to create these changes. They will probably know that something does need to be changed, but they're just not sure on the route to get there. And this is where the magic of hypnosis starts to come into play. The brain is incredibly intelligent, and specifically when we're younger and through difficult traumatic events, it will create coping mechanisms to help us not only get through that event, but to get through any event that seems in any way similar to that. This is kind of a concern sometimes, because any time that a similar event may come up, whether it's dangerous or not, the brain will immediately go into those coping mechanisms and try and protect the person. So for example, if there are abandonment issues with the person, then every time maybe they get into a relationship, they're not sure why they either pull back from the person or they hanker onto the person, eventually leading to that issue of being abandoned in the relationship. So as a hypnotherapist, we will go back in time to look at the causes for these concerns and start to help the brain realign and readjust to what it needs to do. Because what that part of the brain is not quite accurate on assessing is our current reality. It tends to base a lot of our current existence on past habits and events and the coping mechanisms that we had in those moments. Hypnotherapy will help to align to who you are and who you want to be, so that these things, we don't always look at getting rid of coping mechanisms, but we take what is necessary, what is useful, and then help the mind to get rid of what it doesn't need any longer. So hypnosis is a fascinating subject, and it goes much deeper than what I've just mentioned, but for the sake of a short video to give you a little bit of an understanding of it, I thought it was important to present some of the main key issues that I've noticed about it. So I want to thank you for taking the time for watching this video. My name is Donovan and I'm a transpersonal hypnotherapist. Thanks, bye bye.